K-pop Demon Hunters is absolute cinema.
Don't worry, it's totally legit.
In fact, I may argue that this is the best 2025 movie I've seen by far. And that's saying much because I don't give much modern movies a lot of praise nowadays. But this original film goes above and beyond. The title, I know it sounds weird, K-pop Demon Hunters, as it combines K-pop music with fighting, but I promise you when I say this, they got pretty creative in a matter of around 90 minutes. Let's get into my analysis of this new film that's taking the streaming industry and social media by storm. But before we do, smash the like button and please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, if you have no idea what this movie is, it's the newest Netflix animated movie made by Sony Pictures Animation, who did the Spider-Verse movies more notably. It's about a trio of female hunters called Huntrix, who are the newest group of singers/fighters that have been around for generations, balancing singing for their fans in humongous crowds with battling demons and keeping them from entering from the underworld. And that can only be achieved with a protective layer called the Hunmoon, which is strengthened by the connection of their fans and the hunters themselves. And if they ever get to a point where they get to the golden Hunmoon, then it will be powerful enough to permanently keep away the demons from the outside world. But what's holding the team back are this new demon boy band called the Saja Boys that plan on deceiving the fans with their singing, making the Hunmoon weaker and allowing the other demons to take people's souls. So the creativity of this concept already has my full undivided attention, and it gets more interesting as I continue on with the film. Here's how I will approach discussing K-pop Demon Hunters. We'll divide the film into 4 elements. We'll do the characters first, then the story, humor, and especially the soundtrack, because listen, the songs have been stuck in my head for a while. I can't even go a single day without listening to Golden. It's that good of an uplifting song, but we'll talk about that later. And yes, I will definitely be getting into spoiler territory for this video, so please scroll away if you haven't seen the movie yet. But I encourage you to go check it out. It's really good. With that out of the way, let's get into the characters for a bit, starting with Rumi, who is the focal point of K-pop Demon Hunters. She is half demon, half hunter, for hereditary reasons, and that puts her in a difficult position as her team is so close to keeping away the demons for good. But her demon patterns cause her to lose her voice, and she can't be able to sing properly, and this really gives the demons an upper advantage. She's my most favorite out of the Hunters group because I can relate to her a lot. As someone with anxiety, carrying the weight on my shoulders sometimes, I can really feel what she feels. Zoe is the youngest of the Hunters group, and she has this bubbly, energetic, and excited personality that makes you want to be her instant best friend. Completing the Hunters trio is Mira, and I was worried I was going to find her unlikable with her rebellious, I hate anything and anyone attitude, but she was definitely a lot more than that, and she's just as cool as the rest. Next are the Saja Boys. Now, I won't go into detail with everybody because there's one member that I'm going to put my focus on, but we have Abby, Romance, Mystery, the rapper Baby Saja, and more importantly, Jinu. Jinu is a very tragic character. He's been a demon for a few centuries, living in pain and shame. I know all demons experience that, but as we get to know Jinu, you just kind of feel bad for him. He was controlled, manipulated, lied to, thinking that he would provide a better life for him and his family, but the consequences came to bite him unexpectedly. The one controlling and ruling all the demons in the underworld is our main villain, Gima, who feeds off people's souls so he can break free of the Hunmoon and conquer everything else in the world. The way he does it is pretty ruthless. Last character I want to talk about before I move on is Celine, the mentor of the Huntrix, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't dislike her. I can understand why a lot of people hate her though because of the way she handled Rumi with cover up the demon patterns every time she brings up about it, but I try to see things from her perspective, and in my opinion, she did the best she could with how she could raise Rumi. Celine wasn't intending to be a bad guardian. It was just outside of her understanding on how to handle somebody with demon roots. And if Mira and Zoe were ever to find out, this could leave them completely separated, deteriorating the Hunmoon. Like, it's a domino effect. I wish they would have explored her character more, maybe in a way that would lessen the hate and sympathize with her character more. But she was mostly there to tell Rumi, hey, nobody must know about part of your identity, so conceal the demon marks. But we'll talk a little more about Celine later in the story element, which we're getting into right now. And already in the almost first 10 minutes of the movie, we're getting a strong introduction. We're introduced with a glimpse of what Gima and the demons are capable of, the history of the demon hunters, and the newest trio, Huntrix, making it look super easy with taking care of the demons and singing while in the battle. They were obviously trained for this. They've done it many times before, and quite frankly, they're getting tired, but also having fun with it. Meanwhile, back in the demon world, Gima is getting really hangry for souls, more pissed off at the fact that the golden home moon's within reach, which would leave him starving. But Jinyu and his team devise a plan to become a demon boy band that would help give Gima what he wants faster. And in return, Gima would erase Jinyu's painful memories that he has carried for 400 years. In his first moments, Jinyu instantly became an interesting character. He's not like the other demons. He's making this deal not for Gima, but for himself. He wants to be rid of this pain, shame, and regret, and out of Gima's control. It's like you kind of start to see that Jinyu is not necessarily evil, but he's a broken character. The writing for this film just pushes you to continue forth. After the Huntrix live show, Rumi rushes the release of their new hit single called Golden, and we understand why, because we're introduced with Rumi's struggle, which are the demon patterns around her, and they were spreading ever since she was a little kid. Now it's affecting her voice and she's becoming more demon. The other girls on the Wear for Mars try to help Rumi's voice by taking her to a doctor who's a con man but actually proficient at reading through people. Anyways, he gives her tonics disguised as grape juice. Then the girls meet Saja boys in their total human form, and they're instantly in love with them, especially Zoe and Mira with the fucking popcorn eyes. It's so cartoonish, I love it. Their first song, Soda Pop, scored huge, got the fans' love pretty fast, and as Mira put it,
it's infectious.
It's basically the main reason why this is my most favorite song of the whole movie. You get the picture. The girls attempt to get back at the Saja boys at the Play Games With Us show, fails embarrassingly, tries to fight them off at the bathhouse, fails again. But during that showdown, Jinyu spots Rumi's marks from a close-up, and that motivates him to set up a meetup on their next encounter. As for the demon boy band plan, Gima is feasting. The girls are left defeated at the moment, watching the whole moon getting weaker, but they have another plan, and that is to write a diss track song that would ruin the Saja boys' increasing popularity. But before they do that, Rumi goes all by herself to meet up with Jinyu after receiving a message from him sent by the Derpy Tiger. Jinyu goes on to explain his history, how he got to where he is with Gima, and that his pain is similar to Rumi's. And that sets her off the wrong way because she wants to be rid of her patterns. And from her mind, it's risky to trust somebody that's helping Gima. They would later meet up at the fan event where Jinyu would explain to Rumi why he's helping Gima, but Rumi advised him that he'd focus on the good from the outside world than the evil inside him. Then we get to see Rumi doesn't want to continue on with making the diss track as she has a change of mind. Mira comes into her room. Rumi explains to her that the diss track is negative and hurtful. Mira gets suspicious and tries to see what's wrong with her, which I really like because she really cares for her, but Rumi is not being totally transparent, and Mira just took it as, oh, I'm just acting out, and just left the room. Rumi sets up a meetup with Jinyu this time. She explains to him her plan on how Jinyu could be set free, that is, if he could stay in the outside world with her, and once the whole moon is completely sealed, that he'll be free under Gima's control that way. But Jinyu tells Rumi about a demon being free. It's not really as simple. And I'll say this, for the rest of the movie, they don't go forward with that plan. Huntress begins practicing their choreography for their new song, but Rumi still feels iffy about it, and this increases the conflict because the trio is not on the same page and they're being divided. Even during their next demon battle, when Rumi was singing the words, "A demon with no feelings doesn't deserve to live," it kind of includes her and really distracts her from the fight. There were also some lyrics in the song that said, "When your pattern starts to show, it makes the hatred want to grow out of my blank." You just gotta love the attention to detail that this movie puts in and how it contributes to the character's struggles. Later on, Rumi opens up to Jinyu on how he helped her heal her voice and she found somebody that she can comfortably talk to about part of her identity. They both share a good moment connecting with each other through hardships from one world to another. Jinyu believes he is cured from listening to Gima's voice, but this was all a trick as Gima already knows the full truth on what he's been doing lately. This is the part of the movie where the main villain has his cruelest moment. Gima controls Jinyu and makes him reminisce the traumatic memory of him abandoning his family, and he knows he's vulnerable to it. He threatens that if Jinyu doesn't abide by the deal, he'll make the voices louder, making him suffer with his shame more. Here's what's sadistic about Gima. He enjoys hitting others where it hurts the most. To Jinyu, he's just another slave, another pawn that will do his bidding, and someone who he can easily take advantage of, which he does. I've read somewhere that Gima has the power to alter memories from what actually happened, and if that happens to be the case with Jinyu, I would feel more bad for him. I wouldn't be surprised if Gima was putting lies in his head. I think that scene was meant to be left open for interpretation, and you know a movie's that good when it has you theorizing and thinking about the details. But let's move on. The next day, all the girls are sitting down, talking about the diss track, working on some conflict resolution, which is another bit I liked. Instead of going with the route of, oh, let's continue to argue with the protagonist and make them feel more pressured, they work on a solution that all sides can agree on, and that's what makes the team more likable. They all agree on performing their new song Golden at the Idol Awards, their biggest event that would help make the whole moon stronger again. And they get to go first as the Saja boys are arguing backstage. But while they're singing Golden, Rumi would be left alone at one point as Zoe and Mira see Bobby, their manager, taken hostage, only for it to be a setup by the demons to separate the girls. The song gets changed to their diss track, and a fake Zoe and Mira come in to antagonize Rumi about her demon patterns. This all turns into a disaster for her on stage, and when she leaves, the real Zoe and Mira are left disappointed with her secret being revealed, and they both target their weapons at her. Rumi runs all heartbroken. When she finds Jinyu, he reveals he planted the fakes on stage to her. He then angrily confesses to her that he left his poor family 400 years ago to only help himself in a selfish type of way, changing what he said would happen before. It's hard to believe from that scene if Jinyu was being serious or he was just saying that to feel more guilty for himself for what he's done. But all we see is him more broken, scarred, and miserable in the best acted out moment from his character. Rumi goes off all alone as the whole moon weakens more. The people in the outside world are manipulated by Gima, making them mindless zombies under his control. Rumi then goes to Celine, who she asks her to take her out with all hope feeling lost, but Celine refused to do that as she had made a promise before to Rumi's mom to raise her despite the demon marks. I said before that she wasn't intending to be a bad guardian. She was only following demon hunter tradition that worked ever since the first trio of hunters, which states that our faults and fears must never be seen. But the whole covering up a part of Rumi was clearly not working because it only made her feel worse for who she is. There's also a big detail with Celine looking away from Rumi when she uncovers the marks, and it seems like she's afraid of what she's becoming or is triggering some trauma that happened in her past. Or it could be a bit of both, we don't exactly know. I saw some lore about Celine being involved with the death of Rumi's mother, but they never go further into it. We just know that Rumi's father was a demon and that's it. This whole scene was a difficult one to take in. Celine fails her, Rumi's getting tired of the same mentoring, she's beginning to go against the whole moon she's protecting, and above all that, she does a demon move by teleporting away. Following this, the Saja boys now have a lot of brainwashed fans on their side at the concert, and they perform a banger villainous song called Your Idol. Rumi joins in and fights back Gima with a song of her own, representing her self-acceptance and triumph on what's holding her back. The demon marks are a part of her, but so what? She can continue fighting the demons like she always does. Zoe and Mira join in, help her in the fight, but Gima goes after Rumi. Jinyu comes in, shields her from his fire, making a contributing and redeeming sacrifice. He transmits his soul to Rumi so she can use it to help defeat Gima, and now all the hunters gain their strength from the fans to eventually put him away and create another whole moon, which is rainbow instead of blue. This implies that the demons could be back in the sequel since it's not the golden whole moon, and the war doesn't seem entirely over yet. After the fight, the girls get a much needed break at the bathhouse, letting out a good cry after being in such a rough spot, and the movie ends with all of them moving on back to their singing careers. So my short review of the story, it's well served on a silver platter, and the vibe of the movie is absolutely pleasant. The complex character building carried out great, and it made the audience feel a sort of way with each character individually. Even the Huntress, who are more than what their personalities tell us. Before I move on, I wanted to say that I also like that K-pop demon hunters had hidden Christian themes inserted, like fighting against idolatry, resisting temptations, and of course, battling the demons inside us. The humor in this is well structured, enough to crack at least a few giggles, and it's not at all forced. Some managed to be on point while funny at the same time, like when Rumi had eyes for Jinyu, the usual Asian drama music kicks in, or when they were at the fan event, there's this geeky fan with a Reginu couple shirt who indeed ships them. That realistic part had me thinking, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fan art for them as well. Anyways, the humor all around, to summarize it shortly, excelled in its execution and comedic timing. The soundtrack can be enough to be stuck inside your head for quite some time. As someone who is not a K-pop fan, I am shocked at how fun and catchy the songs were. Not only they're a bop to listen to, but they have significant meaning through its lyrics. With Soda Pop, for example, despite it being a fresh beat, they're indirectly hinting at wanting the souls of the fans. Golden by Hunters represents how far they came to be where they're at now, from their own personal conflicts to their own success. It's meant to be extraordinarily optimistic, making the song itself golden. See what I did there? The whole soundtrack is an integral part of what made the movie well known, and it's responding huge from a global scale. Sony clearly did their homework, making sure they do it right and leaving the fans completely satisfied with the finished work. What's amazing is that this movie took 9 years to make altogether, and I'm super glad the people behind it worked so hard to make this drive outstanding results. I can definitely tell K-pop Demon Hunters was made with a lot of passion, and that's what we need from animated movies nowadays. Animation shouldn't be known as just a genre, it's a work of art and creativity. Every bit of recognition this movie is getting domestically and internationally is well fucking deserved. Even after 2 months from its release date, it's still on a lot of people's minds. As of right now, K-Pop Demon Hunters is closing in on Red Notice for most watched original film on Netflix, and 4 of their original songs have cracked at least 100 million views on YouTube. All 7 of their original songs at one point were on the top 20 global Spotify chart and the top 10 US chart. So yeah, they made such a big accomplishment with this movie. Original films can still thrive, and Sony is getting the point that they gotta be creative and have a concept that can hook your audience, unlike Pixar, who is becoming old news. Because Elio, their newest Pixar movie, yeah, they barely made more than their production budget, but it's still a flop. Anyway, Sony has had tickets on sale for at least a week by the time I'm recording this for a limited theatrical only weekend release of the K-Pop Demon Hunters, and it's going to be a sing-along event, which is super cool. It's coming up the 23rd and 24th, and I already booked my tickets. I cannot wait to rewatch the movie again. I've seen it fully 3 times. This will be my 4th time. That is all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for the whole K-Pop Demon Hunters video. I was so passionate in doing this. I had a lot of fun with it, and I am so excited to get this out to the world on my channel. Let me know your thoughts about the movie in the comment section down below. Share any details that I may have missed or any interesting theories that you would like to point out. I'm out. Take care, everybody, and have yourself a great day. Now, if you'll excuse me. Couch.